Diversity groups on campus are important because so many people think that the standard is white heterosexual males, and there's nothing wrong with that, but the problem comes when people start to think anyone that does not adhere to that norm is no longer normal, and they start to experience prejudice.
This is kind of the place where so many different people come together, and I think that there's so much room to have different voices be heard.
You know, just generally all people are diverse. There's people with different experiences, different backgrounds, and it's important that the minority is just as powerful as the majority.
In my experience, I feel like the diversity groups on campus are really the only ones being really productive as far as getting anything like social justice related done.
Diversity groups on campus are important because without them, people that are a little bit more different, that don't fit into the same stereotypes and groups of the majority of the campus being affluent, white, straight, heteronormative, we feel a little bit more left out.
We all come from different places, so why wouldn't you want to learn about each other?
Kelsey McConnell.
Jessica Wright.
My name is Nassim Muallim.
I'm Zoe Chamberlain.
I'm Taylor Coffin.
Haley Aguilar.
My name is Tara Felucci. I'm with the sorority Gamma Rho Lambda.
I'm a part of V-Day SDSU.
Gamma Rho Lambda.
V-Day SDSU.
Gamma Rho Lambda.
V-Day SDSU. The group was founded when, in 1994, Eve Ensler traveled around the world asking women their stories about sexuality, rape, and gender expression, and she wrote the Vagina Monologues. And when that premiered in New York, it was so successful that in 1998 she made it a national organization that's in charge of other film campaigns, other fundraisers. It's very wide-reaching now.
The group was founded in actually Arizona by a group of lesbians. It has since become more inclusive towards queer people. In Beta Chapter alone, we have a couple of trans-identifying people, a lesbian other than myself, pansexual, a couple of bisexuals, and some people that identify as just queer.
My name is Haley. I am a co-producer, and my vagina is wearing a nice long sweater.
Wow. My name is Kelsey. I am also co-producer. My vagina would wear some cowboy boots right now because it really needs it.
Yes.
My name is Nassim. I'm assistant producer, and my vagina would be wearing 3 layers and some flannel.
My name's Elizabeth. I'm supposed to be doing social media, and I think I'd be wearing a really soft sweater. I don't know.
My name is Zoe. I'm community liaison. My answer for this is always the same. My vagina would be naked.
So the main purpose of VDSCSU is to put on a benefit production of the Vagina Monologues.
Gamma Rho Lambda is the all-inclusive queer-based social sorority on campus. And right now, it's just we like to get involved, get everything LGBTQ related out there and on campus.
La 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 la, la la, oh oh oh, la 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 la, la la. If every day is just a dream, then who would I wanna be? Today I think I'll be the queen, flying through a time machine. Oh my.
Because the Vagina Monologues kind of has this stigma about being really racy or, I guess kind of risque. So we kind of have to deal with that.
We have a mascot, Pinky the Vagina, which is cute and lovable to most people, but there are people who are very crude and crass and sexist in their remarks.
A lot of overcoming prejudice is about ignoring hostility, but also taking a stand and refusing to be told that we're not supposed to be there.
It's about raising awareness, about telling people what we do the show for.
In our group, there were people that did not believe in all identities, especially bisexuals. We have a bisexual who lovingly calls herself Unicorn because bisexuals are not real.
A couple of our members, especially specifically our trans members, have come into a lot of resistance with just students on campus or faculty members who like don't understand like what being trans means and like the name switch and such as that. So like we're trying to make it easier for them.
I feel like the biggest complication is getting everything aware and out there. Because that's like
Growing up in a heteronormative society has affected me personally in that I did not feel safe to come out to my parents for 2 years after I figured out that I was in fact lesbian, to the point where when I told my parents that I had a girlfriend, I was afraid that my very Republican NRA member father was going to lock me in my room and never let me out. I was taught that especially lesbians are purely sexual objects, and that I can expect to be objectified, particularly by straight men.
When I was 12 years old, I very much came into a woman's body, and when you tell that to people, the first thing they say is, oh, well, that must have been really good for you. But it's not really like that, because immediately I can remember that everyone always had a comment to say, and they were always grabbing me and pinning me up against walls. And when you're 12, you don't really understand that that's not something that's okay. You're just really confused and angry. And I think for a long time I was stuck in this place between apathy and anger, and I started to deny anything that made me a woman. I started to wear men's clothing, and I shut down all of my emotions, which is never a good thing, because you stay inside yourself for so long and it has to come out eventually. And I didn't want to be that locked up person anymore. I wanted to be able to show compassion and feel joy. So when I came to VDA SDSU, it really taught me that I need to accept all parts of myself, and there's nothing inherently wrong with being a woman. There's wonderful powers and wonderful things that women can do, and sorry.
That I enjoy beauty in all aspects, and that's all I can really say about my sexuality. There's no need to put a label on it. And it also made me realize just how fluid sexuality is as a whole, and how we talk about things in our society as this dichotomy as, black and white, either or, and it's just not that way, especially with gender. It's not always male or female, masculine or feminine. A lot of times, most times, it's somewhere in the middle, and there's so much more variety within gender than between genders. It's very, the language we use is just not very conducive, honestly. And I think that's mostly what I've learned from GRL. I've learned it's just so fluid.
I remember in high school, in one of my AP Lit classes or something, it was near the end of the year, there was this huge argument. It was 4 of us girls in the class and this one guy, and he just kept saying misogynistic comment after misogynistic comment. And I was so frustrated. And these other girls were really good at defending, and I pitched in, but I was just so infuriated I really couldn't defend myself and question what he was saying. And I remember it was lunch after, and I went and I sat with my friends and I just cried. I cried for a straight hour. The photography teacher in the room came and he was like, what happens? And I was just like, this guy, he just didn't understand, He doesn't understand that 1 in 5 women on college campuses are experience sexual assault. 1 in 3 women in the world are experience violence. He just doesn't understand any of it. And I don't know how to explain it to him. And this teacher, it was funny, he does what my mom did. She always says, but there's all this good in the world too, and we can make it better.
I'm hoping that the future holds for Gamma Rho Lambda expansion.
I think the future is going to be big for Gamma Rho Lambda. I think that we have already established a pretty good presence nationwide, and I think that it's only going to continue to grow.
Just education, mostly. Trying to educate people about they're ignorant sometimes and how they don't know that they're being ignorant.
I think V-Day's future just involves more getting the word out, of just getting people to realize that things are still so messed up.
It's reaching out to people who don't have this in their communities. I think it means having more visibility and reaching out to schools who don't have these opportunities and telling them that there are ways to bring it to their schools.